Tots anime, easy tots anime, wanyare. Do 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 do. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Barca News. It is August 16th, 2026, and my name is Mo. And we have some amazing news. It wasn't enough that Barcelona defeated FC Basel 5-2 with, or 2-5, I should say, with some pretty amazing performance. But on top of that, they gave us, the club gave us the amazing news that they have officially signed. Well, not officially, the official announcement hasn't been made by the club yet, but the signings of Joao Cancelo and Rodri are complete. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Joao Cancelo and Rodri will wear the Barcelona jerseys this upcoming season, this 2026-2027 season. And I gotta say, with all the additions that we've done this summer, Barcelona is definitely a top contender for the Champions League. Oh no, someone's saying that my stream is lagging. Please confirm, everybody, in the chat section if it's also lagging for you. If it is, I will make sure to refresh it. If it's not, I will continue telling you the greatest news for coming out of Barcelona today. Okay, someone's saying stream is fine. Okay, we're good. But ladies and gentlemen, what a day, because today we talked about, of course, about the preseason match against FC Basel. And it's not that it was important because we won 5-2, because it's a preseason match. Who gives a shit if we won 5-2 or if we won 20-2 or if we lost 5-2, right? What's important is what we saw on the field. We saw a tactically different team, a 4-3-3 team. And that's important, especially because, well, the question was, is Flick preparing himself for the arrival of Rodri, right? And if you want more details about that match, I did a live analyzing that match. And also, a 4-3-3 is a lot more fitting for a team that doesn't have a designated center forward. Now, seeing that 4-3-3 in action today, it definitely seemed like a very strong team. A team that attacks really well, creates a lot of chances, and that is absolutely clinical. And now with these two additions, I can only say that I'm so much more excited for this season, because we already saw Adeyemi and Gordon cooking in this 4-3-3 formation. Can you imagine now with the additions of Rodri and Joao Cancelo? My God, I cannot wait for this season to kick off. Now, before we talk about the signings of Cancelo, of Rodri, of course, we do have to give credit where credit is due, and that is to Deco de Souza, because what a summer transfer market, absolutely historic. Adding Adeyemi, adding Anthony Gordon, adding Rodri, adding Cancelo, and adding Jesse Bisiwu, even though it's most likely Bisiwu is going to be playing with Barca Athletic. It is technically a first-team signing. So an incredible job by Deco. And I got to take, well, not completely my hat off because I have the headphones. So I guess I'll just clap for Deco. Let's all clap for Deco, because amazing summer transfer market by the Portuguese sporting director. And without further ado, let's talk about the two signings, because, of course, the first one is Joao Cancelo, who is signing for Barcelona for the third time. I don't think there's anyone who signed for Barcelona more than Joao Cancelo. Of course, he signed under Xavi on a one-season loan. He signed last season on a half-season loan, and today he signs for, well, not today, but he will be signing this summer for a permanent transfer. But Joao Cancelo signing for Barcelona for a third time, this time on a permanent transfer. And I gotta say, this is the signing I originally did not want last winter, right? I did not want Joao Cancelo. He had disappointed in Manchester City. He had come to Barcelona. He had disappointed under Xavi Hernandez. He had went to Saudi Arabia. He had disappointed in Saudi Arabia. And then when there was talks about bringing Cancelo to Barcelona again, I was like, what are we doing here? This is a guy who has failed at 3 different teams, including our own. Why are we trying to bring Cancelo, right? And I consistently said on my videos, I don't want Cancelo. And well, Cancelo grabbed my words and shoved them down my throat and said, fuck you, Mo. I'm going to show you. Well, Not really, because he has nothing to prove to me. But he said, I'm going to show you what I can do under Hansi Flick. And he had a phenomenal half of a season under Hansi Flick, which just goes to show how blessed we are to have Hansi Flick, because Flick can turn anybody into their best version. And that's exactly what it did with Cancelo, because he had a phenomenal half a season. And after that, how could I complain about having Cancelo? I was like, yes, please bring Cancelo. Bring him on a permanent transfer. Of course, Al Hilal were 1 in 15 million euros. Barcelona were hoping to only pay 5 or nothing. And then there were talks about maybe Barcelona meeting Al Hilal somewhere in the middle with 10 million euros. This signing kept delaying and delaying and delaying. And everybody, and when I thought that it was mostly paperwork that was being delayed, that wasn't the case. The case was that Joao Cancelo, in his desire to come to Barcelona, was working on getting his contract rescinded. What a guy, ladies and gentlemen. Not only did Joao Cancelo make it clear from day one that he only wanted to go to Barca and Barca alone, but he did everything in his power to get his contract rescinded. Joao Cancelo is going to be joining Barcelona on a free transfer. Free transfer. You know what a win that is in this summer transfer market? By the way, even if we had signed him for 10 mil, this still would have been a win. 10 million euros for Joao Cancelo. Yes, he's 32. Yes, he's towards the end of his career, but this guy still has a good 3 seasons to give us. And given his quality that he showed us under Flick last season, 10 million would have been a bargain. Shit, 15 million would have been a bargain, which is what Al Hilal wanted. And it's not 15, it's not 10, it's 0. We're getting Joao Cancelo for 0 euros. That is absolutely huge. And that's all thanks to the efforts of the Portuguese fullback, because he did everything in his power to make this happen, to rescind his contract. He forgave his salary, because, of course, when you rescind the contract, they have to pay you whatever's remaining on the contract. He forgave that. So he's leaving as a free agent, and he will be joining Barcelona as a free agent. What a win for Barcelona in this summer transfer market. Not only signing Cancelo, but signing him on a free transfer. Now, of course, Barcelona had already an agreement in place with the player himself. They had agreed to give him a 2-year contract. The only thing, of course, was left was negotiating with Al Hilal. But now we don't have to negotiate with Al Hilal, thanks to the efforts of Joao Cancelo, who did everything in his power to get his contract rescinded. Now, Cancelo is expected to arrive in Barcelona this week. They're saying he could sign his contract as soon as on Tuesday, so he could be presented as an official Barcelona player on Tuesday. And, of course, Wednesday, it's the Joan Gamper Trophy match, the final friendly match of every preseason. It's the match where Barcelona present their entire squad to the fans for the first time. And, of course, Joao Cancelo will be there wearing that Barcelona kit. 3rd time, but for the first time ever as a permanent transfer, right? The previous 2 times were loans. So Cancelo will be there being presented as a Barcelona player with a Barcelona kit at the Spotify Camp Nou in that Joan Gamper Trophy match against Al Ahly, the Egyptian club where Hamza Abdel Karim came, which, by the way, I said my piece about Hamza Abdel Karim in the live that I did an hour ago about the match against Peso. What a guy. What a guy. Check out that live if you want to hear more about my thoughts about that match. But anyways, because the signing of Cancelo wasn't enough to make us happy and to give us one of the greatest weekends in a very long time, but now it's confirmed Barcelona have also signed the best defensive midfielder in the world, a World Cup winner, the Ballon d'Or winner, a treble winner. Rodri, ladies and gentlemen, will also wear the Barcelona kit next season as a Barcelona player. He too will be flying to Barcelona early this next week, and he's expected to be presented as a Barcelona player on Wednesday in the Joan Gamper Trophy match against Al Ahly. Now, of course, Rodri, after the World Cup, decided that he wanted to come back to Spain. That's where he's from. He believed that his chapter at Manchester City was over, and he joined and he reached an agreement with Real Penalties to to join them next season. But after some soul searching, I imagine it didn't take that long, because why would anyone want to join that shit show? Rodri decided that, well, Madrid was not the destination that he wanted to go to, and instead he wanted to join Barcelona. He personally informed Barcelona that he wanted to come. He personally informed Real Madrid that he no longer wanted to join them. And of course, even though Rodri was not a priority for Barcelona, actually no midfielder was a priority for Barcelona. Barcelona believed that the midfield was pretty much done and set, and that we needed more attackers than midfielders. But of course, when a player calls you and says, hey, I want to join your club, and we're not talking about any player, we're talking about the best defensive midfielder in that entire world, well, Barcelona said, we got to jump on this opportunity. And that's exactly what they did. Barcelona reached a full agreement with Rodri to join the club for 4 seasons. They're saying his salary will be around 30 million euros gross, which is about 15 million euros net. A little high if you ask me, but he is the best midfielder, defensive midfielder in the world. And of course, Barcelona, after reaching an agreement with Rodri, continued negotiating with Manchester City. The first offer was for 45 million euros fixed plus variables. That was rejected. The second offer for Rodri was approximately 63 million euros fixed plus variables. That was also rejected. And of course, yesterday I told you about how Barcelona submitted their third and final offer for Rodri. They're saying it was a package around 70 million euros fixed. We still don't know how much the variables are, but we know that it's around 70 million euro fixed plus some variables. And while today Manchester City agreed or accepted that offer, of course, City wanted 80 million for Rodri. That's what they were demanding from Real penalties. But it looks like Barcelona are going to pay a little bit less, 70 million euros. And Rodri will become a Barcelona player for this upcoming season. And I got to say, with these additions, mamma mia, what a team do we have. We're talking about Adeyemi, we're talking about Anthony Gordon, we're talking about Rodri, we're talking about Cancelo. Our team is going to be cooking, ladies and gentlemen. Our team is going to be cooking, not to mention all the youngsters who could also add to this team. Youngsters like Hamza Abdelkarim, like Xavi Espart, who to me has been the best player this entire preseason. Jesse Visiwu, who looks very promising. I don't expect much of him yet because he is pretty young. He just joined the team, but who knows? Maybe in the second half of the season, he can have some minutes with the team. And ladies and gentlemen, we're cooking. We're cooking. That's all I got to say. Our defense, we got the best center back in the world, Pau Cubarsí, right next to Gerard Martin, who's no longer this temporary solution until we find another center back. No, he is set. He is showing us that he's a quality center back, capable of being a starter on Barcelona team, with, of course, Eric Garcia and Andreas Christensen, 2 phenomenal center backs as our backups, and Álvaro Cortés, who's looking incredibly promising. In the right back position, we have Jules Koundé, who, if he recovers his form from prior seasons, we can have one of the best right backs in the world. And right behind him is Eric Garcia and Xavi Espart, 2 phenomenal players who can also do that job really well. On the left, we have Joao Cancelo, who cooked all of last season, well, half of last season, and I'm sure he will continue cooking. Alejandro Balde, the jury's still out. Let's see if he can recover his form from prior seasons, but if he can, and if he can't, Pesquer is looking really, really promising as well. Our midfield, Rodri, Pedri, Fermín, Olmo, Bernal, Gabi. Are you guys hearing this? I'll say it again. Rodri, Pedri, Fermín, Olmo, Gabi. These are 5. Frankie de Jong, but I always forget about Frankie. Frankie, 6. These are midfielders that any coach in the world would want. Any one of these 6. Any coach in the world would kill just to have any one of these 6 midfielders. And we have all 6. And I'll say it again because I really want this to soak in. Rodri, Pedri, Fermín, Olmo, Gabi, and Frankie. If that's not the best midfield in the world, I don't know what is. And then up front, we have Lamine, Adeyemi, Gordon, and Rafinha. And sure, we don't have a center forward yet, or maybe we won't, depending on how the rest of the summer transfer market goes. But what I saw today against FC Basel with the 4-3-3 formation, with the front three attackers constantly swapping positions, and we still have Hamza who can come in last 10, last 15 minutes, be kind of like that poacher that you need if the match is not going too well. This team is going to cook. This team is going to cook. Now, can we win this Champions League for sure? I don't know. But are we a top contender? 100%. Can we win La Liga? I think really good chance that we do. It's not guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed in life. But we're top contenders to win any trophy that we participate in. And we can compete in any trophy that we participate in. This team is looking so good, looking so promising. And I got to say, I have not been excited for a season like I'm excited for a season right now. And all of this, of course, is thanks to Deco, Joao Amaral, and his staff, to Hansi Flick, who has shown us that he is the best coach that we've signed in a very long time, since Luis Enrique, pretty much. And, of course, to the players themselves, right? Joao Cancelo, making sure his contract gets rescinded. Adeyemi telling Dortmund, I only want Barca and Barca alone. Anthony Gordon telling Newcastle, I want to go to Barca. Right? All these players, the coach, the staff, Deco, have made this happen. And I got to say that we have a team that is capable of competing for everything and that it's a top contender for everything. And I cannot wait for this La Liga season to begin. Anyways, let's do some comments. What a day. What a day. What a day. Rodri and Cancelo on the same day. I knew the two of them were going to happen, but I did not expect it to all happen on the same day. Talk about like happiness overload. Like I knew Cancelo was about to happen. I knew it was going to happen sometime before that market ends. I knew Rodri eventually was going to happen as well. I thought Rodri was going to happen before Cancelo. I thought the Cancelo matter was going to take a little bit longer. But at the end of the day, they both happen at the same day. So it's like, what else do we want? What else do we want? What a summer we are having. A summer to remember, a historic transfer market for sure. And I got to say, cannot wait for the season to begin. All right, let's do some comments. Let's see what everybody thinks. Raul Davidson says, hello, Mo. Today's a super Sunday for all my Barca fans. Welcome to the best club in the world, the Rodri. Let's warm up for the homecoming of Alvarez. Vizca Barca. Keep up the good work, Mo. God bless you. I appreciate you, my friend. God bless you, Vizca Barca, and God bless this team and club. I got to say, after what I saw today, and now with the additions of Rodri and Cancelo, I would be okay if we don't sign Julian. Don't get me wrong. If we sign Julian, obviously we would be even stronger. But if we don't, I think we would be completely fine. Like I'm okay not signing Julian. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys still think we need Julian? Do you still think we need to sign him? Let me know down below. And Kelvin says it's a double shot. Here we go today. Thanks, Mo, for all the great work you put up for our beloved club. Greetings from Zambia. Let's go. And love you all, Barca family around the globe. I appreciate you, my friend. And my love to all my Barca family, all Barca News family who are here with me in this live. And Paul says Spider should come quickly as well as a center back, and this will be a generational transfer. Man, I don't think we need a center back, man. We are set. We are set. Bisca Michael says, can we all rejoice real quick? What else do we need besides the striker position? We have all the creative power we need on the flanks now. All we need is our players to work on that finishing. By the way, the signing of Rodri, which I forgot to mention. Not only is that an incredible signing because obviously he's going to make our team better. He just will. Like, he's the best midfielder in the world. Well, the best defensive midfielder in the world. Best creative midfielder to me is Pedri, undoubtedly. But not only is he going to improve Barca, but you know what that does to Madrid? Because, people thought, oh, Madrid signed Cucurella and Diomande and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blue, and blah, blah, blah. Madrid his problem is not the attack, it's not the defense, it's the midfield. That's their problem. They can sign 10 Diamondes. That's not going to solve the problem that they have, which is that they have no midfield, right? They can sign 10 Cucurellas and 10 Konates. It's still not going to solve the problem that they don't have a midfield. And Rodri was going to solve that problem for them. Rodri was going to be that link that they desperately need between their defensive block and their offensive block, right? Because their team is fractured. Not only is it fractured in the locker room where the players are literally punching each other, but they're fractured on the field where there is no link between their defense and attack. And Rodri was going to solve that for them. He was going to be that link between those two blocks that have been fractured since the departure of Toni Kroos. And so not only does Barcelona win because they're bringing the best midfielder to their squad, well, the best defensive midfielder, I got to clarify, because, again, the best creative midfielder for me is Pedri. But not only are they bringing the best defensive midfielder in the world to their squad, but they're also depriving Real Madrid from the solution that they needed, which is a midfielder that can finally link their attacking and defensive blocks. So that is a huge win for Barca, double win for Barca, and a huge blow for Real Madrid because they continue to be shit while Barcelona continues to get better. But let's see. What else? Nico says, no Rafinha, Gordon, Yamal. Huh? What does that mean? Mr. Green says, do you not see how good Rafinha was today as striker? I did not. I did not. I actually did not like Rafinha in the false nine position whatsoever. I thought when he switched to the left wing in the second half, he was 10 times better than in the false nine. So I did not see it, no. Vishal says we need physical striker in box who is good with head and feet, and we have pretty good wingers now to feed him. I think we have that, and his name, ladies and gentlemen, is Hamza Abdel Karim. Ross, my man, Ross, what's up, man? Says, you guys realize one could sing any song using Mo's name. Mo. See what song it is. It could be any song. I hadn't thought about that. But it's always good to see you, my friend. Thank you for joining the live. And we do have a donation, as always, from Sanjog, who's very, very generous. Always supporting the channel. Thank you so much, my friend. But Sanjog says, I was impressed with Hamza, his positioning, as well as his link up for Bisiu's second goal. Hamza was right at the front where Suarez used to be. I 100% agree with you. I think Hamza is a diamond in the rough. I think Hamza is exactly the kind of center forward profile that we need on our squad. He's a natural born poacher. That's what he is. He knows how to position himself to either receive a pass and push it in or to be there for a rebound and push it in. But he's always, if you go back and watch, by the way, top scorer of the preseason, 3 goals. But Hamza Abdel Karim is always in the right place at the right time. Even against, I think it was Udinese or Nottingham Forest, where he gets a rebound and then he shoots it right at the hands of the goalkeeper. Yeah, sure, it was a miss. It wasn't a goal. But the fact that he was there for the rebound, it tells you that Hamza is a natural-born poacher. He has that instinct. He has that goal-scoring instinct in him that tells him where to be all the time to either, again, get a pass and push it in or get a rebound and push it in because he's a natural-born poacher. That's what he is. And that's exactly the kind of profile of a center forward that you need on your team. Now, I'm not saying throw in Hamza Abdel Karim and have him be a starter. Obviously not. He's only 18 years old. He's just signed last winter on loan and now on a permanent transfer. But he just arrived in Barcelona a few months ago, spent the first few months injured and adapting, and then only played really for like a month and a half, I think, during which I think he scored like six, 7 goals. Like, he's only played with the Juvenil A. So he's clearly still needs time to develop and grow and learn, right? So I'm not saying throw in Hamza and have him be the starting center forward, but he definitely should be with the first team, train the whole season with the first team, and get minutes here and there. Maybe the last 10 minutes here, the last 10 minutes there, maybe some Copa del Rey matches against 4th division teams. Like, he has earned that. And I 100% believe that Hamza is going to be a top center forward. Not yet, Okay, we got to give him the time. Not yet. But he's showing all the signs that he is that box poacher, that box predator, the guy that has that instinct to just be in the right place at the right time to score a goal. And the fact that we only signed him for, what was it, 2.5 or 3 million? I mean, it's insane. Like, it's insane. But thank you, my friend, for your donation. And we have another donation. This time is from Bariano. Thank you so much, my friend, for your generosity. But Bariano says, Deco, resign Jordi Cruyff and company and fire them. Oh, resign Jordi Cruyff and company and fire them again. I think that would be an unfair. Remember, Jordi Cruyff and company were here during the worst economic time in Barcelona. And the fact that they were still able to sign players, register them, it was no short of a miracle. Like, when Cruyff and company were here, Barcelona were under the 1-4 rule. Okay? That means that for every euro that we made, we would only able to spend 25 cents. Can you imagine having those restrictions? You're talking about, for example, Ferran, right? We just sold them for 50 million. Had this happened under the Cruyff era, 50 million, we would have sold Ferran. We would have only been able to use 12.5 mil to sign someone else, right? If we had sold someone for 100 mil, we would have only been able to use 25 mil to sign someone. So different circumstances, right? And if anything, when we were not under the 1-1 rule, Deco did not do much. Now that we were under the 1-1 rule, he's done an amazing job, and we got to applaud him. That we're not going to take away from him what he's done this summer, but way different circumstances. We're talking about a club who's under the 1-1 rule, a club who just got 210 million euros in cash, plus the fact that we're back at the Camp Nou and all these sponsorships, blah, 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 blah. So we're talking about a club that's flush with cash, and it's under the 1-1 rule, right? And to compare them to Cruyff and company, who were at the time where the club had no cash, under the 1-4 rule, it's not the same. It's not the same. But thank you. Thank you, my friend, for your donation. Let's see. Let's do more comments. Man, this chat section is exploding. I love it. Everybody's happy. I'm happy too. G Meister says that time where Adeyemi had a chance to pass to Hamza but decided to shoot instead. The fact that Hamza was there with a clear line to pass and clear shot for goal speaks for Hamza's number 9 instinct. 100% I agree with you. By the way, what a save by Basil's goalkeeper when Karim Adeyemi made that shot. He put it in the corner, and the guy just flew and was like, ah. But anyways, we're not here to talk about FC Basil's goalkeeper, who I don't even know who his name is. But yes, 100%. If you go back and watch every attack by Barcelona in all the preseason matches, you'll always see Hamza in the right place. Always. Always. That guy just knows where to go. He has that instinct. And that instinct cannot be taught. You either have it or you don't. That's why classic nines, center forwards like Hamza, are a dying breed. Because that's not something you can teach. If you could teach it, we would have plenty of classic nines. I'm talking about, like, the Lewandowskis, those kind of nines, right? If that's something you can teach, we would have plenty of center forwards like that, your classic 9. But we don't. It's a dying breed because that instinct you cannot teach. You cannot train someone to learn that instinct. You either have it or you don't. You're born with it. And Hamza Abdel Karim has been born with that instinct. If you go back and watch every attack by Barcelona in every single preseason match this summer, you will see Hamza in the right place at the right time. Every single fucking time. Because he has that. He has that killer instinct. Something that is very, very tough to find. Let's see. What else? Where we at? Malik says we went from Dest, Mingueza, Depay, Braithwaite, and others to this current team. We used to pray for a time like this, bro. I came across this meme, or it was a picture on Twitter. It literally had one of Barcelona's old lineups. And yeah, it was like Semedo on the right, Firpo on the left, Lenglet as one of our center backs. In the midfield, we had, I think it was, I can't even remember who else. I think it was like Andres Gomes. Bro, it was like, I was like, wow, I can't believe we had those players at some point. Like, it was crazy. It was crazy. Aloka says, Mo, I was happy when I saw Cancelo's coming for free, then saw Hamza poaching like Haaland, then saw BC was top call, and then finally Rodri deal was done. What a day, man. Yes, 100%. What a Sunday. I'm going to remember this Sunday for a very long time. August 16, 2026, the day that I saw everything you just talked about. The incredible goal by Adeyemi, taking 2 steps and then firing a rocket in between 3 people. The way BC will put in that curler, the way Hamza Abdel Karim showed us again that he's a natural-born poacher that we signed for less than 3 million euros. And then on the same day, we complete the signing of Rodri. We complete the signing of Cancelo. I mean, this is one of the best Sundays in a very long time. This is definitely one for the book. Arthur says, here we go. Rodri and Cancelo signed today, +5 to win today in the, I imagine you meant to say preseason. But if so, yes. Yes. An incredible day. What else? Let's see. Ibrahim says, I just hope Tebas will not make registration difficult for us for our new signings with the horrendous FFP rule. So we should be fine as far as registrations. You know, again, Barcelona is under the 1-1 rule for the first time after a very long time. So registration should be fine. Plus, we've cleared some space on our wage bill. Remember, Lewandowski leaving. He cleared a lot of space. He was the highest paid player on the squad, so he left a lot of space on the wage bill. Ansu Fati, he was one of the top paid players on Barcelona. Him leaving also left a lot of space. Plus, we got 11 million euros for him, so that's more space on the wage bill because money you earn counts towards your wage bill. Who else? Ferran Torres, right? He wasn't one of the top paid players. He was, I want to say, in the middle bracket. But nonetheless, a significant salary taking off the wage bill. Plus, we made 50 millions off him. So that goes towards the wage bill as well. So we've cleared a lot of space on our wage bill. And we've made some, we're about to make some important sales. You know, we're talking about Casado, Jofra, Hector Ford, the Fernandez cousins. You know, all that is money that's going to be coming in. And all this is going to help, obviously, clear space on the wage bill and help us with registration. So don't worry about registrations. Barcelona are confident they're going to be able to register all players. So we Gucci. Denny says, if we sign a defender and a striker, we don't need a defender. We do not need a defender, ladies and gentlemen. We are covered. We have 5 quality center backs for position of 2. And Mantamanti says, let's have PSG for breakfast, Real Madrid as a snack. I like that. And Bayern Munich as a lunch. Let's go. And who else? Arsenal for dinner. Let's eat all of them. Nom. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. What else? Arian says, Kofen striker bullied Gabriel Saliba in the Champions League. Ferran replacement. I think at this point, Barcelona are either, for them, I think it's looking like it's going to be Julian or bust. Obviously, things can change. We still have 2 weeks left in the market. But at this point, as long as Julian is trying to pressure his way out, then Barcelona are going to continue trying to sign him. And it's not until Julian picks up the phone and says, sorry, I've tried everything, I can't come. Not until then are Barcelona going to activate, plan B. Mr. Green says, sell Casado and loan out Bernal. Lona Bernal? Nah, bro. Bernal needs to stay in Barcelona. Ross says, chat was going wild before you come on. Was fun. We realized one can use mo to replace any words in any song. See what happens when you lay. Okay. That makes more sense now. Okay. Thank you for explaining. And Bito, who has such a great name that he got named twice. So Araujo made his debut today, played really well. Hopefully he continues playing like this till the end of the season, so we could sell him for 55 mil. I did not see it, but if you say so, I believe you. I mean, look, I'm not surprised. Araujo is a great center back. He's just not a fit for Barcelona. That doesn't mean he's bad. He's just like not the right fit for us. Remember, Ibrahimovic, one of the most prolific strikers of our generation, Pep got rid of him. Not because he sucked. It's just Pep didn't think he was the right fit for Barca. And that's the thing with Araujo. He's a really good center back. Tall, strong, fast, very, very physical. He's a bull. Great in the 1v1s, great in aerial balls. He just doesn't have what Barcelona look for in center backs, which is, being able being good with the ball at your feet, right? Being able to build from the back, make forward passes, make forward runs. That's something that Araujo struggles with a lot, right? And that's why he doesn't work for us. But for a team like Liverpool, that could be a great fit. Let's see. Let's hope so. So we can, offload him. Current says, is this the type of players I like who will do anything to join Barcelona? I agree with you, my friend. And Simeon says, Culés, Hamza played in the World Cup, the biggest football tournament, so we can definitely manage playing for Barca's first team, not as a starter, but from the bench. I agree 100%. I think Hamza needs to be with the first team this season. Eddie says, with this is super. I'm sure now we will see someone being signed for number 9. I mean, we definitely are all covered, so now all our focus can turn towards the number 9. But, man, I don't know. It's looking a little bit difficult. And Daniel says, what a great day for every Barca supporter. Agree. And let's see what else. Zane says, as a Man City fan, I personally want Barcelona to win the Champions League with this Man City legend in your team, Barcelona, #1 team in Spain. Well, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. I appreciate those words. And Sony says, Mo, my biggest fear is that other than Neymar and Suarez, Barcelona has a checkered history with high fee transfer. Paulinho was the last good high transfer we had. We definitely haven't been too good with high transfer, but I don't know if 60, 70 million or 65, 70 million for Rodri qualifies as a high transfer. I think high transfers that have usually bit us in the butt have been north of 100, like Dembele, like Griezmann, like Coutinho. But anyways, let's see. Ranger says, I don't think it's lost even if we don't get Julian. No, I don't think so either. I think if there's anything that today's preseason match showed us is that if we don't sign Julian, we should be fine. Obviously, if we sign him, it would make the team better because he's a world-class player. But if we don't, I mean, we should be good as well. Official says Jordi Pesquera was really good. He likes to go up, look good with the ball, good defender considering he's still young and we only get stronger. Passing is a good and he's really fast. I really like Pesquera. I've liked this preseason by Jordi Pesquera. The way he can track the plays, that's what impresses me most about him. The way he tracks the plays and he stays with the ball the whole time. Like he just knows what's gonna happen and he can track the play the whole time and just move accordingly. And whether it's the play of Barca or play of the opposing team, but he's very good at tracking the play, so he can always make his decisions based on that, and it's always the correct, most of the time it's correct decision. Either place himself in a good spot where he can receive the ball if Barcelona have the ball, or position himself in a good place where he can intercept the ball if the other team is attacking because he's really good at tracking plays. And says the Cancelo deal is magical. I love not paying a transfer fee. I do so too. Zane says, hi, I'm a Man City fan. I'm going to really miss Rodri. Take care of him. We will. But yeah, I can imagine it would suck to lose him, Akum Lang says we need the Laporte and Cubarsí partnership. I mean, if we get it, great, but we don't really need it. Would it be nice to have? Sure. Would we absolutely need it? No. Sonny says Rodri is a player where his most important attribute is his brain. With no social media, completing a college degree, plus all those private sessions with Pep, Rodri is a mix of boozy and shabby. His brain is definitely what makes him, and that goes to show, right? The way football has evolved, football IQ, and it's a lot more important than physical strength, right? Than being just an athlete. It's a lot more important because, I've said this on the channel a lot before, where people say, "Oh, we need fast players, we need fast defenders," right? And it's like, no, we don't. We need players who can read plays, who have football IQ, who are smart when it comes to why? Because those players can read the field and can anticipate. And anticipation is much better than speed because you're never going to be faster than the ball. That's just a fact. The ball is always going to be faster than you. So since you cannot beat the ball, you have to anticipate the ball, right? You could be an incredibly fast player, but if the ball is faster than you, what's the point, right? But if you can anticipate, if you can read the play and see where is that guy going to pass the ball to, you can anticipate and go to that place. So when the opposing player finally releases the pass, you're already there. So you can intercept it, right? And this is why some of the best players that we've had at our club were not fast players. Was Busquets fast? Motherfucker was slower than lava. And yet he's the greatest pivot we ever had in the history of the club. One of the best midfielders in the history of the sport, right? Xavi, Iniesta, were they fast players? Not really. They weren't slow like Busquets, but they weren't incredibly fast either. The same goes for physical players. People are always like, oh, we need a physical midfield. No, we don't. Xavi and Iniesta were like these midgets, and yet two of the best midfielders in the history, right? Because football IQ will beat physicality any day of the week. Any day of the week. Bariano says, why don't we wait and go all out for Haaland? Because Haaland is impossible financially speaking, right? Haaland has a market value of 220 million euros with a contract. What is it, like there's 8 or 9 years left on his contract? And obviously, the more time there's left on your contract, the more you have to, the more the value of the player is, right? And so if he's worth 220, can you imagine what he would be, sorry, I'm getting like crazy text. Anyways, if he's worth 220 with so many years left on his contract, can you imagine how much money Manchester City would want? You know, we're talking about 250, 300 mil. And we're under the 1-1 rule right now, but that doesn't mean we're not going to be next summer, right? Because next summer, we're leaving the Camp Nou. And since we're leaving the Camp Nou, we're going to be not under the 1-1 rule. So if you're talking about a player that can cost you 250, 300 million, and you're not even going to be under the 1-1 rule, that's a problem. I think the only way we can sign Haaland is if he straight up forces his way out and says, I want to go to Barca. But even then, City's going to want a lot of money. And not being under the 1-1 rule next summer, it's going to be a problem. Sonny says, Mo, we can offer Haaland a lifetime subscription to Spotify, a signed personal jersey from Messi, and 125 million. Finally, both you and I could personally chauffeur him from Manchester to Barcelona. Hey, I'm down. If Haaland wants to sign for Barca and all I have to do is drive him around, I'm down. I will move to Barcelona. I will buy a luxury vehicle and I will drive him around. DLL1001 says, I think it's ironic that Ferran chose to leave Barca, especially now that the future looks amazing. His ego grew with the one World Cup goal. I hope he enjoys the bench at PSG. Look, I'm done with Ferran. We sold him. He's no longer our problem. All I got to say is thank you for leaving 50 million euros in our pockets, because we got our investment back. And I never thought we would ever get our investment back. You know, we paid 55 million for Ferran, and I thought he would either have to leave on for free eventually because he never wanted to leave, or if we sold him, we would sell him for like 10, 15, maybe 20 million tops, right? And the fact that we got 50 million out of the 55 that we paid, I mean, that's an absolute win. And a win that I never, ever, ever, ever imagined. So thank God he scored that goal, because I just cannot imagine being able to sell him for 50 million under any other circumstances. But anyways, I think that's all, ladies and gentlemen. An incredible day for all of us Barcelona fans. Not only do we see an incredible team play a 4-3-3 formation successfully and completely dominate and score some amazing goals, but on top of that is we got two incredible signings, Cancelo and Rodri, to join Adeyemi, Anthony Gordon, plus Bisiwu. Very, very successful summer transfer market. There's still 2 weeks left. We could still see more signings. Of course, Barcelona still hoping to sign a Julian. We'll see if that happens or not. But whether it happens or not, it doesn't matter. I think the summer transfer market has been an absolute win, and I cannot wait for this season to begin. Cannot wait to see this team cooking. I cannot wait to see these players in action. Thank you for everything. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, be Barca.